I want to start this sort of transition because you're making a really, really interesting transition technologically, and you've just been killing the game for so long. But let's start at like legacy Hollywood. What has your experience been working in Hollywood all these years?
It's been great. I mean, didn't have anything else to compare it to. I started out in a completely different field. So I had been an attorney when I got here in 1991. So I kind of took my work ethic and my ideas about the workplace and what it took to get something done in that world and just sort of applied them to Hollywood. So the idea, when I started, trying to write for a living or, being on deadlines or, the idea that, oh, we need a script immediately, an actor got sick and we need to rewrite this entire thing and change it. The idea of staying up all night and getting something done didn't phase me in the least. I've been doing that for years in my other job. So I think it was, that had always served me well. I just sort of approached this like I would approach anything else. I always tried to learn as much about the subjects I was writing about and about the shows I was working on and just really research stuff, in great depth, as if I would do, if I were a realtor, I would try to learn as much as I could about architecture and same thing here. So, for example, if I write for the mob, stories about the mob. I've read every book on the mob and talked to people and interviewed people on both sides of the law, that sort of thing. So, the idea of, there wasn't really a big mystery here to me, as much as, it is glamorous and mysterious. At the end of the day, you are expected to show up for work and do a job. And in the case of my job, everybody else on the crew can't do their job until I do mine. Until you have a script, there's nothing for anybody else to do. Costume designers waiting to see what it says and where are they? Are they at a big party? Are they at the gym? What are they wearing? And the production designer is looking to build sets. So everybody's waiting for you to do your job. So it really helps to have a good, solid work ethic, and you can bring that from any field. I've been lucky. You hear these Hollywood horror stories about working with people who are, just out of control and, arrogant and crazy. I have been blessed to work with some of the best, most solid people ever. I can really count, after 30 years of doing this, really on one hand, on a couple of fingers, like bad experience that I had, and they're not even noteworthy, honestly. So I've been really, really lucky. I've had some great mentors, as I said earlier, and just some great experiences. So it's been really a pleasure. That said, like any other business, things change over the years. When I started, and I started out in sitcoms, like I said, and one of the first things I wrote was a show called Sister Sister, which is what's called an 8 o'clock sitcom. It's on at 8 o'clock because kids can watch it. 9 o'clock sitcoms are more like Seinfeld, Frasier, Cheers, a little more adult oriented. So, somewhere in the 90s, there was a show called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And ABC put it on, and they put it on every night for an hour. And it wiped out 10, that's 5 hours or 10 half-hour hours of sitcom programming for people who generally just wrote 8 o'clock sitcoms. So I saw dozens of friends of mine who only wrote 8 o'clock sitcoms lose their jobs, and then those hours never came back. The game show became a big thing. Reality shows became a big thing. So I realized early on that I had to sort of be able to shift between 30-minute TV and hour TV and adult-oriented sitcoms.
Can I ask you a question? We have 90 seconds. We have to get to the break, but you're just such a fountain of knowledge, right? Do you think, because you have this humility that, it's amazing. You've done so much. You're so humble. Do you think that it's like you have to keep that mentality to keep going in Hollywood?
Keep humility?
Yeah.
It certainly doesn't hurt. Being in any profession can't be good. Although many people are and they seem to be very successful, I wouldn't know any other way to do it. I really, again, I just try to, conduct myself the way, I always have. You return phone calls, you're polite to people, do what you say you're going to do. And, sadly, the bar, not just in this business, but in every business, the bar is so low. People can't believe when you just act decently and you actually just do what you say, they think you're the greatest guy in the world. And that's not really true. You're just being a decent person. But again, it doesn't hurt, to use that as a code of conduct. And, I always think whatever happens to me, I just remain true to who I am. And I just conduct myself the way I always have.
Well, you can tell, I interview a lot of people and you're just so authentic and just brilliant. And really, like, I'm such a fan. Please come back
Thank you.
anytime.
I love this show. This is my favorite show.
Good. Well, it should be, and it's all very genuine and sincere. And I got you for two more segments, but anytime you want to come on, my friend, please do. We got Terence Winter here on the Daily Drop.